have been here. The only reason I am here is because God willed it to be so. And because He's given me that opportunity, I feel like sharing that gift that He has given me, which is to know Him intimately and to know who He is in reality and to be able to worship Him in a way that He wants me to worship Him and be pleasing to Him. And this is Islam. This is the religion of Islam in its entirety. I don't care what you've heard about Islam. I really don't. I really don't care what you've heard about Islam. I don't care what the media says about Islam. I don't care what any Muslim has told you about Islam. I guarantee you that most of it is not Islam. It's so far away from Islam. Because Islam is so simple that if it takes more than 2 minutes to explain it to you, time is wasted. Islam is very simple. It is the message that was initiated with the creation. When God created the heavens and the earth, He created them perfectly. And within that perfect creation, and I finished this 2 minutes with this, to tell you what Islam is. When He created that creation, it was perfect. And within that perfect creation, God decided to create His greatest creation ever. And He named that creation Adam. And it was the greatest thing He ever created. Because it was the only thing He had ever created that had a choice of whether or not to worship Him or not to worship Him. And He told that creation, Adam, that this is what I want for you. I want you to worship me and obey me. And after that creation came the rest of creation. He created Eve from Adam, and from those two the rest of human beings. And the message that Adam passed down to his children was this: God is one, you worship Him, and you obey Him, and you go to heaven. And human beings stayed in that path for a while until they forgot. And then when they forgot, God sent them someone else, and He named him Noah. And Noah told the creation that God is one, worship Him, obey Him, and you go to heaven. And every time God's prophet would leave, the people would stay on this path for a while until they forgot. Until they lost the message, they lost the books, they lost the writings. And so God would send somebody else. But all of them had the same message. Search and do your research yourself. Their message was, God is one, worship Him alone, obey Him, and you'll go to heaven. And then God decided to end His message to the creation, to finalize it. So He sent the final messenger, Muhammad. And Muhammad's message was simple: worship God alone as one, obey Him, and you go to heaven. And God's wisdom, there's no need to explain why Muhammad was the last messenger. It's very simple. He's the last messenger because his message still exists in its purest form. That's the reason why Muhammad is the last messenger. That's why the Quran is the last message, because we still have it. We still have the Quran in its pure form. We still have Muhammad's message, what he said, what he did, how he acted, how he walked, how he talked, how he ate, how he slept, how he used the bathroom, how he married women, everything. We have it to this day. This is why his miracle is the greatest miracle, which is the Quran. Jesus' miracles, even though they were some of the greatest that ever existed, they were. Jesus' miracles were that He healed the blind, He raised the dead to life. Moses' miracle was that he split the Red Sea. Noah's miracle was the ark. Abraham's miracle was all of these things. But Muhammad's miracle is the Quran, and it will always be to the Day of Judgment. This is his proof and his evidence for who he was and why he is the last messenger. And this is Islam in its entirety. Everything else is just additional to this message, but it all is all in conformity. So this is the message of Islam in its purest form. And this is how I got from where I was to where I am now. And we have time to have some questions and answers beforehand. So I'm going to leave time for questions and answers. But before I do, as everyone in every religion is familiar with this, but I cannot leave and have come 15 hours and going 17 hours back tomorrow and deliver this message without giving you the opportunity to ask you, is there anyone here who is not a Muslim, who wants to worship their Creator the way He has desired for them to worship Him as one, and they want to obey Him as He has asked them to obey Him, and they want to live this way of life called Islam in submission to God's will? Is there anybody here that is wanting to do that? That says, okay, I agree. Yes, I believe that. No? Then I did my job. That's the only thing that we're allowed to do as Muslims, is give the message and set it out plainly and leave the rest up to God, because He guides people, not human beings. So now I'm going to leave time for Q&A, right? If you have a question, you can raise your hand, you can ask it. And one thing that I will ask of you sincerely is, please make it a question. If you want to talk with me and discourse with me afterwards, that's fine. We can do that until nighttime. I don't care. But in this setting, so that we can get every question answered, please make the question a question. Thank you. Yes.
Is Muhammad far greater than Jesus?
Is what?
Is Muhammad far greater than Jesus?
Is Muhammad far greater than Jesus? As a Muslim, we believe that all the prophets of God, we believe in them equally. We believe that some of them had different statuses. Yes, we do believe some of them have different statuses and different levels. And we also believe that there's a group of them that had a much higher status because God gave them new laws.